Let's talk about tech in Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So people are using shields to get height, and it just makes sense. It used to be, bomb shield, you blow something up, that's going to be pretty cool, but no, what you want to do is shield jump it with it. That way you can get the height, and it makes these kinds of shots easy, and then you get the stagger, and then you can just go swing around and do all the damage and take out the big boys pretty easily. Yeah, really good to have a couple of these shields for the Lionel fight. That way you can just kind of jump up anywhere, line up your shot, and then get the stagger. So you can do it with bomb plants, you can do it with bomb barrels. I have a time bomb right here. That also works, so if you've got a few of those, it's like having a bomb plant if you don't want to waste those or something. So people are getting more use out of that. Can also use spring shields. Now, the Zonai devices are a one-time use, but I mean, like, yeah, people are getting the height, they're getting the jumps, and then they're able to just kind of land those easy shots. And of course, everyone's favorite tech, the rocket shield, because it's going to give you a lot of height, and then you can kind of do a lot of other stuff with that. People are busting up shrines by having the rocket shields handy, so you can see there is a lot to do with the shield jump height tech. People are running away with that. Also, if you're quick, you can just straight up do a rocket shield jump and get a nice little zoop. So that's kind of cool. Now, another thing that has gained popularity is freezing enemies, because frozen enemies will take 4 times the damage. Now, since I'm in a hot area, they're not going to stay frozen for long, but you can still do it. So get close, get an ice fruit or a choo-choo jelly, and then boom! You can come down with a big hit. And if you have something like a damaged Royal Guard Claymore that has the double bonus damage, and you hit a frozen enemy with that, it's going to do a crazy amount of damage, so you can use this for combos on enemies that can be frozen. Also, I'm just going to clean up this camp with a time bomb and see how that plays out. Oh, this could actually get pretty neat. Nice. And as a reminder, you can convert choo-choo jelly, so all you have to do is put it on the ground, and then you can throw any kind of elemental item at it. So let's take the ice fruit, let's hit this jelly, boom, ice. And then to further extend the ice tech, people are carrying a shield that has an ice choo-choo jelly on it. That way you can go for the shield bash, boom, freeze them, and then you can do the big wombo. Next bit of tech is using a mirror, because it can stun and daze enemies. What? And you can just stun lock them as long as it's light out? That's interesting. Yeah, we can just go and zap them for a bit. So I mean, that's something that people have gotten up to. Make sure you have sunlight though. Now, I've already talked about this one before, but it's still some very useful tech that if you're going to be gathering a large amount of one item, you can just make some kind of schematic for it or have it in your recent builds. And then you can run around and build it in the areas with those resources. Also, to speed up the building of your thing, you can make it and then glue it to another one, and that's going to help you kind of get enough to make the really big one. And then when you have enough, you select it, you go through, and then you can mega harvest everything super fast. And yeah, it's actually really crazy. And you might be thinking, well, they're just apples, what's the point? Apples are actually really good, because it means you don't have to like use an entire cooked food if you want to restore a little bit of health. You can just kind of spam a lot of apples, and it's going to quickly restore a lot of health. Now, you can do this with other resources that are around, like instead of individually picking the mighty bananas, you can just walk through a forest and then have them all come to you, harvest them all at once. There is an interesting thing, because I saw someone comment that they wanted to try this on like the crazy fishing machine. So I covered this in a previous video where like we just have the infinite IQ fishing machine where it's like, yeah, how about electro fishing? That's pretty cool. But the thing is, like, the fish are already grouped up enough to where it doesn't seem necessary. However, it could be really cool, like, if you make a very specific fishing boat and there's, like, a bucket in the back. So then you still just kind of scoop them all up, put them in the bucket, and then that would kind of be neat. So the creativity of this is also very high. The usefulness, how sweaty you want to get, you can do it. So yeah, people using auto hand for non-contraptions. Also some pretty fancy tech. Some other tech that exists is being used, but I don't think is getting enough attention or development or enough builds, is transforming vehicles. So we've got this, you know, this was a big post on Reddit when the game just came out. Not even a week the game has been out. People are already making fighter jets and crazy stuff like that. But the big thing about this one to me is that it's a transformer. That you can land it and use the components to then make a land vehicle. Also, I think it's really awesome when people can use the Ascend to get into their own builds. That's really cool. So I think like the Transformers angle is something that needs more exploration in this game. Being able to reuse and recycle most of, if not all of the components in a build just seems like really awesome and creative to me. And I don't know how much of that is really going on. Like a transforming tank would be really cool. Something that could go from like land to sea or land into flying or something. Even though we're kind of seeing that here. But this guy really likes making his mechs. Also, maybe some more acknowledgement on preserving builds. A lot of people complain about the wing durability, but you can just kind of wait for the wing to expire and then rebuild it by just throwing out another wing. Depending on how your build is too, it might be a little expensive, so it's like, alright, we got a few of our components down here, fine, but then bust out another wing. Mine uses batteries, so we can just do that, and then we can rebuild it. Nice and free. Now, the biggest problem is also that most of the time, if you're using a wing, you're going to be in the Sky Islands, and then everything's falling off, and you're just going to either glide to the nearest island, or just kind of find a way safely back down. So you don't really see too many opportunities like recycle wing. Now there's also things people are doing to make their wings last longer. There's also the glider wing drop trick that people are doing from Sky Islands. And at the end of the day, we already have the perfect flying vehicle, but maybe that is like an acknowledgement that you can use this, get it as far, push it to the limit, do whatever you need to, and then you can just transition to the actual best vehicle in the game. Oh no, my wing broke. Wait. Never mind, I just have 2 fans and a control stick. Oh wait, there they are. Done. So we're also in the reality where some things are already solved, and it means that creativity is just kind of wasted effort and wasted resources. Now this video kind of shows us a lot of what we've been covering so far and really brings it together. So the combat possibilities in the game are endless. I can't wait to see what other people come up with. And this also shows the extra little bit of tech. So using one of those bombs that you find underground on the shield and then freezing an enemy, getting the bonus damage. And here's where things get wild. So like using the bomb device to then have the weapon get thrown and then recalled to deal damage, to pick it up again, and then to just like keep styling on the opponent with it. It's absolutely insane. But that's the piece of tech that just keeps on going, what people are doing with recall. Like, how is this part even possible? That's nuts. You can also use recall to preserve height with some kind of vertical flying machine. Now make sure that instead of just letting it all of your energy run out, that you cut it off at the last second. So then we can hit this, fall, but remember, we have recall. So when we fall all the way back down, we're still gonna have all the energy. So we're gaining energy right now, falling, we can recall, and then that's going to put us right back where we were. And then we're still gaining energy, and then we can turn everything back on. Now make sure you kind of grab it near the peak and then hit it really quickly, or else you lose like too much from the fall. But we can just keep doing this, and we can just keep getting height with whatever kind of simple balloon contraption or even fan contraption that we want. The recall possibilities in this game are endless, and a lot of people are using it to get a lot of the chests inside of shrines, if not break the shrine completely. So yeah, just take the platform, move it out, get your thing, and then he even gave himself enough time to head on back. So a big thing about recall in the game is just using it to send back anything, anywhere, any kind of loose object. If you look around and it can be interacted with and it can be recalled, do it. So yeah, that's some of the cool stuff people have been doing in the game to elevate their combat or their exploration. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, share with friends, comment your thoughts down below. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.